Thank you for coming to Anam Tech's organized Tech Talk show. Here you will know about busting the myths in DROS.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Good morning. I'm your friend Taj. I welcome you all to our Tech Talk show on business continuity and disaster recovery in cloud. It's an absolute honor and privilege to present ourselves among the industry veterans like you. I'm pretty sure together we are going to unveil some of the very unique, innovative strategies related to BCDR, which has never been discussed before in any panel. I beg your pardon for being overconfident, but the guests that we have across the table here has emboldened me, and I'm compelled to assure you that all these things is going to be a worthwhile investment of time, money, and energy for all of us. So without wasting further time, let me introduce our guests for today. We have Mr. Mohammad Afzal, who is the serial entrepreneur, investor, and business consultant. We also have Mr. Nazir Qazi. He is the senior vice president for Quorum. A warm welcome to our guests on a Tech Talk show. Now, before we start, let us play a small quiz. I have a question, and the person who answers right and first will get a voucher from Noon. You can use this voucher to make any purchases, and these vouchers will be emailed to you. This question will be posted on your screen for 45 seconds, and you need to select the right answer. It's a single selection, so select carefully, please. All right. So can we have the question now? So here's the question on the screen. It says, what according to you is the most reliable backup? So we have credit card, heart valves, power bank, Quorum. So please select the right answer. We have 45 seconds. So the time for the first question has ended, and the winner will be announced before the second question. I wish you all luck. All right, now let's have a glimpse of Quorum headquarters in California, USA. This is the place where the intelligent brains come together, a place where the Quorum solution evolved and houses the engineering, development, manufacturing, all the units together. And this is the place from where the solution is distributed across the globe. So let's start the video and have a look at our Quorum head office.
Data is being created faster than ever. It's the lifeblood of any enterprise. So when the data flow stops, so does your business. To protect from unplanned downtime, you need a single secure platform that can recover your data in minutes. You need Quorum OnQ.
At Quorum, we built our company knowing that businesses around the world need innovative, high-performance backup, recovery and archiving in one unified solution. Not only do we have the fastest backup and recovery in the industry, we also have the safest and most secure products, thanks to encryption that protects data both in motion and at rest. We can deliver our software on purpose-built, high-performance appliances, which are so fast in the event of a production server failure, your users wouldn't know there was an issue. You can also deploy our software directly in your own environment, plus our own private cloud for disaster recovery as a service. So you have the flexibility to create the most efficient, cost-effective solution for your needs. In a world where ransomware attacks from nation-state actors pose significant threats to companies, it's Quorum's mission to help and protect from these attacks so our customers can recover their data and service instantly.
Quorum's way of doing backups is pretty simple. We are the single vendor that backs up physical and virtual, any connected data, and we also deduplicate all data. This allows customers to back up more frequently, send those backups off-site more frequently, and then more importantly, they have a shorter time to recovery. Regardless of the outage, regardless of the type of outage, the server that went down, the data that was lost, you can restore your entire environment with Quorum, and you can do it instantly with a single click.
One of the main things I hear our customers say is just the peace of mind that their OnQ solution brings them. Recently, I had a customer tell me about an outage he was experiencing. He was able to quickly restore using OnQ. His other employees had no idea there was an outage or any issues. And so he goes, it works. You guys saved my bacon. And so it was the first time I'd heard that, but it was a really great story. It's great to know that we're giving the customers the peace of mind.
Quorum's engineering organization is based in San Jose, in the heart of American Silicon Valley. We have chosen not to offshore to lower cost, but higher risk locations. That means Quorum is the fastest, most secure, and safest option on the market. We act as your last line of defense.
Quorum OnQ is the next generation of backup and recovery. Contact us today for a free consultation and demonstration and find out what advanced backup and recovery can do for you. Quorum OnQ, one-click instant recovery and demonstration and find out what advanced backup and recovery can do for you. Quorum OnQ, one-click instant recovery.
All right, that was the source of data protection against the disasters and peace of mind for the IT personnel. Now, I would like to shift my attention towards the panelists for whom the audience is waiting to hear from. Mr. Afzal, he has been in the business for over a decade now. On behalf of our audience, I would like you to shed some light on the myths and misconceptions created in the DRaaS domain.
Thanks, Taj. Thanks for being such a wonderful host today. It is an honor to present ourselves among such an august audience. See, as far as cloud is concerned, cloud is a very generalized term in today's era. You ask anybody about cloud in IT domain, and they'll have some sort of inputs given. But if you go in some sort of specific details, you deep down further and inquire more, then you get to know like people have just parochial knowledge or parochial information about the cloud. Just like you ask them what are the major difference in public and private cloud, your choice will be narrowed down to selected people. But again, if you ask them what are the hidden issues with the public cloud or the private cloud, you'll find a handful of people giving you the exact informations. The point that I want to highlight out here is that all of us is keeping some sort of informations. Information is widely available through different sources and media, but this information is not going to help. There is difference in information and knowledge. It is quite easy to get informed through some external sources, but to have a knowledge of certain things, you have a couple of choices. Either you practically experience that particular thing, or you have some sort of experts with you who get you enlightened about the particular thing that you want to know. When I say experience could be good or bad. If it is good experience, then you are on a profit side. But if it is a bad experience, it will cost you, it could be a good amount of money. So I being present on this virtual platform, I'll ensure to get you the proper return of your investment, the time that you all have been spending with us on this platform. Taj, you had been mentioning about the myth. See, myth is something I would like to say that it is a byproduct of any progressive industry or any particular technologies that comes with a very fast pace, and the demand is huge, but still there is a gap. That gap is of demand and supply. Few of you might have some sort of question like, where is that gap? The cloud service provider, they want to offer the cloud, and we want to get on board to the cloud, then how this gap is building. See, I'm not talking about the financial gap. The gap which I am concerned here is the preparedness and availability. The preparedness and availability, it comes from both the sides. Understand one thing. In no industry, the first product can ever be the last product. It will never happen. The industry grows over a period of time. When it grows, there are many gray blocks that comes into play. If you are able to apprehend these gray blocks, these gray areas, then probably you will be able to save yourself and your company. To make it even more simpler, I will take you through some of the infographics. See, whenever any product, technology, or concept that evolves, it has been brought in the market keeping certain audiences in mind. So when I say certain audience, I'm talking about creating the need or addressing their need. Up till this point, equilibrium is set, means the vendor want to offer to something to certain audiences. Obviously, a vendor cannot cover the whole market, so they have got something built up keeping the selected audience in mind. On the other side, the people are also happy because they have all the delightful and wistful solution with them. But the moment the vendor wants to expand their business, they go for the market penetration. And obviously it happens over a period of time, because no business could be at a stagnation phase. The business has to grow. The business is grown on the basis of different parameters. Either it could be through word of mouth or the customer delightment or any sort of marketing strategy that you do. You actually create a ripple effect in the market. Now this information goes to the wide range of audiences. And then what happens? The people develop a certain sort of aspiration. There is a want among the users. What happens when the want is created? When the want is created, this is the most, crucial phase in the market. Why? When we say want, and we are trying to address the wide range of audiences, here the audience have the willingness to go onto the cloud in your case, but they need to check, are they actually prepared? Do they have all the criteria to get onboarded to the cloud? Do they have all the process to go onto the cloud? Even if they go onto the cloud, they can afford the cloud. They have gone for all the minor kind of calculation, and they are pretty much assured going onto the cloud is a wise option, is a pragmatic approach from the organization side. At the same side, the cloud service provider or any service provider, it could be public cloud service provider or private cloud service provider, they need to ensure and assure they are going to accommodate and embrace a wide range of audience who might differ in terms of application. Their performance demands could be different, their storage demands could be different, and there could be lots of choices the user or the consumer might put across to the cloud service provider. And this is where the gaps happen, because both the entity had to develop in order to come on a common platform wherein they create the right equilibrium of demand and supply. And that is where the ideal state of business happens, wherein the consumers are getting what they paid for, and the service provider, they are there to extend the thing. They are ready to give the right value of return to the consumer or to the customers. So throughout this journey, there would be gaps, there would be, kind of tolerance among the people. But here, because most of the time it has been seen, the vendors try to experiment with the users. I have come across lots of companies who have onboarded to the cloud, but their experience was not very good. I'm talking about the public cloud. There were application performance issues, there was data darkness, and there are a lot more issues which been pain areas for them. Then what could be done in this scenario? That is what the Quorum has brought to you. You'll be getting to know more about the Quorum and how we help users who are still on a conventional platforms, but they still want to have the flexibility, agility, and scalability of the cloud, the performance of the cloud, and they can be better off being on the Quorum cloud, and they are protected and secure. Okay. I'll just try to, sum up the whole thing up with a very small example. If I ask my audience, which was the first handset that you had bought? Obviously, the majority of you will recollect the brand Nokia. No, Nokia was the time when we all had moved out from wireless category to the phone category, and it was quite mobile and agile, and you had been given 10 hours of battery backup, and everybody was enjoying the call at that point in time. But to fact which is to be considered out here, that point in time when the Nokia was introduced, we all had been living in a dot-com era. Only the voice was being utilized, but the data was not being utilized. Are you all with me? Are you able to correlate how this industry progression happened? This is what I have been trying to explain out here. The voice was the priority for the users, but suddenly what happens? People apprehend the need of the data. They knew the importance of internet, and that's how the smartphone was introduced, and that's how the BlackBerry came into picture. You all cherish that particular phase when we had BlackBerry and we had our emails coming onto our mobile and those BlackBerry Messenger and all. It was a different kind of feeling. But this BlackBerry was also targeting to certain corporate customers, probably the white collars. It was not meant for the mass audiences. But again, there was another push which was pushing the industry to the next level. That push was of digital era. We all have been living at the cusp of digital era now, digital revolution. This seems to be the fourth industrial revolution. Apple was quite smart. Steve Jobs had done a very marvelous job. He introduced a product, a very smart product, which was very user-friendly, fast, secure at the same time, and it has got all the potential to accommodate any sort of digital demand, or the digital delightment could have been extended to the customer. That's how the market embraced iPhone in a very shorter span of time, and iPhone could acquire a bigger market share. What was happening out there? The journey from BlackBerry to iPhone, it was a journey of dot-com era to the digital era. And when this iPhone came, that point in time also, if you recollect, we've been mostly on to, browser-based internet. No, we had internet banking. We didn't have mobile banking that point in time. Even if you had to open your website, the website was very hazy on the mobile. Means the user will not ready to promote themselves on the digital platform. But in past few decades, the things changed a lot. We have been seeing what sort of digital intelligence that we have got in our day-to-day life. The app market, it is speculated to grow to $800 billion by 2023. So initially what happened? A product was introduced to a certain range of audiences, but at a later stage, the market was smart enough, the whole market was developed, keeping the smartphone at the center. And that is how any or every industry evolves. I would rather say the cloud is an old concept by now, but again, there are lots of innovation has to take place. The generalized form of cloud is what? People are either going for the co-location or they are giving the infrastructure. And the most of the users, they've been carried away with the fact like I have been putting everything onto the cloud and I'm dispensed with my responsibility and I'm totally secure. Actually, that is not the fact. There are things that you must definitely consider. Probably you are missing on some of the very critical things. I have personally been interacting with more than 1,000 plus IT admins since last 1 year. And there was a cloud push. Actually, what happened with this COVID crisis and all, we have been pushed 5 years ahead of time in terms of technology. And that push led us all, we got ushered into an era wherein the business automation was demanded. And that is where the demand for the cloud was more than ever. But people got into a trap. They put everything onto the cloud, then they later got to know that their application is a conventional application. This particular application was developed some 10, 15 years back, and that application is not compatible on the cloud, and they had no option but to rewrite the application or to retrain. retreating back was again a challenge for them, because the cost of onboarding to the cloud, the data migration and all, it is not a frugal affair. People been caught up in a situation wherein they had to consider so many factors. Most of the applications are obsolete, and these applications may retain the storage in mind, and the storage on the cloud is different. There is no data darkness. The security is still a concern. Don't think like you have gone to the cloud and your job is done. The actual task starts there when you have to ensure the data manageability, data availability, and the data security. And more than that, what I have been seeing, and that makes me really upset, the cloud has been treated as a financial arrangement than a technology arrangement. People are trying to make money. They are trying to commoditize the cloud. They have been throwing any price. Backend, they are putting any kind of XYZ or cheap quality hardware. And they have been setting a meter. It is more of a metering than the technology performance analysis. The moment you cross the threshold, you are served with a very staggering amount of bill, and you start pulling off your ears, and you start thinking you should have done something. And this specifically correlate to the situation. I don't know if you all are the Bollywood buff, and I still recollect the Salman Khan was saying, "Aaj main upar, asman niche." But after going on to the asman, after onboarding to the cloud, he starts singing like "Lut gaye, hum dil de chuke sanam." So it is no easy choice. One have to have a very amicable decision taken, consider all the aspects, then only decide what suits you. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the data is sitting on the disk. Either it could be on-premise, or it could be on a private cloud, or even on a public cloud. No, it is not that like your data is hanging on the cloud and you are going to pluck it off. No, the data is sitting on the cloud. It is just an infrastructure arrangement, the security arrangements, and the financial arrangement that you need to check. Then only you can have peace of mind and you can enjoy the cloud journey. And that is where we help you a lot. Our consultants, they have been trained in such a way that brings all possible issues across table, and that help you to take decisions. I hope to have answered your question, Taj.
Thank you, Mr. Afzal. You have really given a complete, detailed, step-by-step explanation of the whole domain. But tell me this, what are the challenges of having on-premise infra for business continuity and disaster recovery?
Okay. The challenges are numerous. It is a multi-pronged challenge the IT admin has to contend with. The few of the challenges been displaying on my screen, but I'd like to mention that the IT people, they have to wear many hats. At times they have to act like a salesman. At times they have to think from the finance perspective, besides the technology and all this concept. Definitely, the being on-premise is a challenge to manage everything in terms of resource, in terms of knowledge, in terms of manageability, in terms of flexibility, in terms of scalability. The challenges are there at the core. But the moment you decide you want to shift onto some other technology, or you want to shift onto some other sort of platform, the challenges are even more. One need to address 5 basic things to their management, or to the business owner, or to the decision makers, and one need to have the preparedness considering on these. The moment you put forward something, the question comes to you: why do you want to go on the cloud? And where do you want to go? That once you are done with this why question, the next question is where you want to onboard yourself. And during this course of addressing why, you need to have lots of preparation done. You have to have need analysis, you have to have feasibility analysis, then ROI, and finally convincing those big bosses. So that is quite a difficult task. But again, once you are done with your why factor, then you decide where you have to go. And that is again, the things comes on to you and your caliber and your experience. So, and even though you are done with this, then you decide how do you move on to the cloud, be it the public cloud or the private cloud. And this how has to be backed with when, because anything that you do has to have a time defined. Because migrating to the cloud is no easy job. Here we are talking about throwing elephants on the cloud. Terabytes and petabytes of data you have to put onto the cloud, and what sort of arrangements has to be there, because all this while your regular day-to-day process shouldn't be jeopardized. People do not want to get disturbed while working. No, that is again a different level of challenges. You have to have a very proper migration strategy defined, and finally when you have onboarded, the final things comes, your appraisal comes, that is what you have done. Then you have to justify all your effort that you have been through, and this is boss, this is what I have done, and this is how it is going to benefit the organization, and this is what can take us ahead of the time. So all this, why, how, and what has to be considered in a very good way, so that you have the self-satisfactory answer and the experience, so that you can recommend these things to the others. Alhamdulillah, in UAE alone, we have customers globally all across, but we have lots of satisfied customers, those who have experienced cloud and they have been liking it, and there is a very massive word of mouth. People are recommending us to the market and different users, and that is where we are getting our due return. This is what actually we want. We don't want to get onto the competitor analysis. Somebody is giving X price, I'm going to give you X minus Y price. No, our focus is in the consumer advantage. In what way I can offer you the best of the best service, so that it adds value to your work, to your investment, and to your satisfaction. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Afzal. Your what, how, when, and where concept was very insightful. Now, these challenges are definitely going to hinder IT aspirations for any organization. I really tell you that these needs to be considered by everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, it's time to announce the winner of the first question. So let's see on the slide. All right. So the question that was asked was, what according to you is the most reliable backup? And the definite answer is Quorum, the easiest one. So let's see who the winner is. Then you have Mr. Joel Fernandez. Congratulations. You have won yourself a voucher, a noon voucher. It will be emailed to you. You can redeem this whenever you want it. All right. So before we go ahead, before we proceed, let me ask another question. So this is another chance for you to win another voucher. All right, let's see who the winner is going to be in the next. Can we have the next question, please? All right, so here the question says, how much time SMB and SMB companies take to recover from IT disaster? So you have the options with you, 45 seconds, select the right answer first, all right, and then you will be awarded as well. Time of the question is up. Likewise, the winner will be announced just before the next question comes, so be ready. All right, now coming back to our main agenda, I would like to ask Quorum representative Mr. Nazir, since Quorum has been a pioneer and one of the oldest players in BCDR domain, and does a lot of consultancy services, offering DRaaS, offering best practices, compliance, we would like to know what are the best practices for backup as a service and DR as a service.
Yes, Taj. Firstly, thank you for inviting us on this platform, and really appreciate the efforts you all have done. See, we have been in business since 2005, and Quorum is a hyper-converged backup business continuity disaster recovery solution. And we have products for on-prem, and we also have a private cloud infrastructure. As you must have seen in the previous videos, in the US itself, we have the Quorum cloud infrastructure in 3 data centers across US and in UK. And here in UAE, also we have tied up with Fujairah e-Government to offer these services to private and government organizations. And now, since we also offer DR consultant, we come across a lot of customers who are not very clear when it comes to the cloud services. What should go on the cloud? The primary should go, the secondary should go. What are the objectives? How to select the right service provider? How to evaluate the right service providers? What are they going to achieve? It will be in terms of cost, in terms of recovery time. So there are a lot of unanswered questions, and as my friend Afzal mentioned, that there's a difference between the information and the knowledge. So what we recommend is a 4-step process in terms of best practices, where customers can decide on their what service in terms of backup as a service or DR as a service they should opt for. So the first step is to understand the objectives. Okay, here the customer needs to understand what are their objectives. First objective, what we see most customer opt for is security. Okay. Now, when we talk about security, security comes in 3 areas. Okay. First is the physical security. Most of the customer wants to ensure that the secondary data is secured. Secured in terms of internal threats, insider threats, sabotage, or unauthorized access by unauthorized people. So by putting the secondary data on the cloud, they can take care of this security. Second is security from natural disaster. Now here we are talking about fire, flood, earthquake, or any kind of natural disaster. So by putting your secondary data on the cloud, this also security is well taken care of, because in case if there is any natural disaster on your premises, at least you have one copy off-site. And the third level of security is from any digital attack or ransomware. Now this is a very big problem, very big pain area. In fact, many of the researches done by private organization and also by Quorum, where we have seen that this is one of the very important aspects where customers are worried about the ransomware infection for the secondary data. So you need to ensure that your secondary data is having a very highly secured environment from any kind of digital attack and ransomware. Second objective would be to improvise your recovery time. Now, very importantly, currently whatever recovery time is defined with your current solution, by putting the secondary data on the cloud, it should improvise. Currently, if it is 8 hours or 1 day, it should improvise for 2 hours, 15 minutes, whatever it is. So it should add value in terms of your recovery time, in terms of your RTO. Next is optimization, cost optimization. Definitely today customers, with the pandemic, with the economy slowdown, IT budgets have cut down to up to 70%. And it is a big challenge for the IT team to keep the infrastructure up and running with the limited budget. So cost optimization is also important, where capital investment is a problem. So by going on the cloud, it will help you in going the OPEX model without compromising on security, without compromising on performance, and so on. Next is a prompt SLA. Now here also you need to define your objective, that without compromising on all the service level agreements in terms of response time, resolution time, in terms of the uptime of your infrastructure, this should be well taken care of. And lastly, vendor lock-in. With the services offered, you are open. You have an option to opt out for any other services available with you. Second objective is to evaluate the DRaaS provider. How do you evaluate the DRaaS provider? So there are many providers. There are public cloud operators, then there are private cloud operators, local operators within the country, and the multinationals available in the public cloud. Now here you have to consider some points in terms of failover and failback. how easy it is, how easy it will be to spin off your servers from the cloud, what are the steps involved, whether you have a dashboard on your own, whether you can connect directly, spin it off on your own, or you have to go through the support tickets. You generate a ticket, connect with the support team, and then they will understand your requirements, and then you go through the complete process and then switch on boot your servers. Similarly, failback. What are the processes involved? What are the challenges? So you need to very clearly understand what are the steps and process involved by service providers in terms of failover and failback, because that's the whole objective of putting the secondary data on the cloud. Second is the response time. What are the response time they are giving? What are the response time they are offering? Because many service providers today, what they are offering is backup as a service, and DR is an optional. When this comes an optional, then the response time is increased drastically. So you need to very clearly define, like many customers very clearly define that these are my critical servers, this I want DR as a service, and these are my non-critical servers, this I want backup as a service. So you have the flexibility to very clearly define, so that when there is a disaster, you can immediately spin off and get all those critical servers up and running. Next is guaranteed recovery. Now this is something which you should very clearly talk to the service provider to ensure recovery of your applications, recovery of your database, recovery of your business process when there is a disaster. Okay. Here you need to understand, we are not talking about recovering the servers. We are talking about recovery of your business process. See, there is something called WRT, which is the work recovery time. There is a point where the servers are recovered, but it takes time for the applications to load. It takes time for the database to load. This is the point where your IT infrastructure is really up and running, fully resumed, where your employees, your customers, your brokers, your dealers, your suppliers, your vendors can actually connect to your IT infrastructure and start using it. This is the point where your business process is up and running. This should be very clearly defined with the service provider. Just spinning of the servers is not sufficient enough. Okay, and to ensure this, a completely automated testing with reports should be available. This should be demanded from the DRaaS provider. Now this is a very important point, because many of the cloud operators, they charge for testing. Every time you test your servers, every time there's an instance running, it is charged depending on what CPU, RAM and connectivity bandwidth you're using. So, when it is charged, then customers avoid testing it. Ideally, it should be tested daily or weekly or monthly or quarterly. But because it is a chargeable and metered thing, customers avoid testing. And if you don't test, the reliability of your secondary data is compromised. Because reliability and guaranteed recovery will clearly depend on how frequently you are testing. Like in Quorum, you have an option to test. Every snapshot can be tested. Daily testing can be scheduled. So the more you test, more can you assure guaranteed recovery of your servers when you really need it during a disaster. So this should be very well demanded, and this should be part of the SLA. Backup restore points. Now currently in the market, what is available is, in the backup as a service, it is one restore point in 24 hours. That means one snapshot per day. Okay, this is the norm with all service providers available in UAE. Okay, that means a 24 hours snapshot or a 24 hours backup, which means if you have any disaster, 24 hours data loss is there. God forbidden, if it is a ransomware, then 2-3 snapshots are gone. So you might lose out 48 hours or 72 hours of data loss. So this should be negotiated, and you should get a better restore points. It could be hourly or 2 hour or 4 hour, whatever it is. because frequent you are having the backup or the snapshots, the data loss can be reduced drastically, and you have more chances of also restoring and getting back your data in case of there is a ransomware. And finally, you should demand for compliance policies. Many of the customers, especially in the banking, financial institution, DR is a compliance. It's government regulation. DR drills every quarterly and again a compliance. So you should ensure that whatever DRaaS provider you are going have proper compliance policies available so that it can fulfill your requirements. Trust me, we have come across some IT resellers who are putting a small setup in their office and offering backup as a service. These kind of services cannot give you compliances. Third is to negotiate an SLA. The third point is you should negotiate a proper service level agreement with your DRaaS provider. Okay, and the first is the recovery time, which is the heart of the SLA, because the whole idea of putting the secondary data is to get a better recovery time and clearly define business continuity. As I said, only recovering the servers are not sufficient. You need to achieve your business process up and running within the defined time. Okay. Apart from this, you should also negotiate monitoring, administration, and failover support. Many providers available in the market, they have easy onboarding. They have a cheap onboarding. They will just charge you based on the backup data. Okay, you have 5 TB of data. This is the cost, and they will get you on board on their cloud. But when it comes for support, when it comes for monitoring, when it comes for failback or failover, then everything is chargeable. So you should be very clear of what are you getting into, because this SLA is changing the provider's promise to a binding contract. He is binded with this contract to offer whatever services. So ensure that your monitoring, administration, and failover support is also included in it. Similarly, training, process workflow, and security. These are also very important aspects to putting your secondary data on the cloud. Because one of the points which generally customer think about is whether my secondary data is really safe with the service provider. Okay. So by ensuring that you are getting the right training, you very clearly know the process workflow. In case there is a disaster, what is the process involved, what is the procedure involved. In case of failover, how do you restore back all your data, what are the security protocols. Everything should be very clearly defined and negotiated in the SLA. And lastly and finally, very important are fixed charges. As I said earlier, many cloud operators, especially the public cloud operators, every instance is charged. Here you need to ensure a fixed charge so that you can very clearly define to the finance department that by putting the secondary data on the cloud, we can have this budget fixed for this year. Because otherwise, if it is not fixed, then it will be a big challenge for the cloud operator, for the finance department. When 1 month there will be a charge of 7,000, next month 10,000, third month 15,000, it will cross their budget and it will be a haywire. So fixed charging is very important so that within your organization you are very well secured, protected, and whatever claims you give to the finance, you are within that budget. Lastly is once you decide on putting the secondary data, you decide on the SLAs, you decide the service provider. The fourth step and the most important is migrating your data to the cloud. As my friend Afzal said, that it's like moving an elephant to the cloud, and definitely it is very challenging. Here we recommend some steps. First is to define your data assets. Okay, and once you define your data assets, you categorize them, which are critical, which are important, and which are back burner or less important. So the critical data should be put on the cloud first, and a seeding protocol should be defined. Seeding is the process of moving your data from on-prem to the cloud. Third is do a realistic disaster testing, as if there is a real disaster happening on-prem, how things will work. The complete process workflow should be clear to you, documented, and trained to your team. And lastly, in this complete process, your production should be always on. you should demand the service provider that within this complete migration process, our production will remain on, and we need to ensure that it's a smooth migration. That's all from my side on the highlights on the best practices. Trust me, if you go through these important points, checklist, you will ensure that you have a very smooth and delightful experience moving your secondary data on the cloud.
Thank you, Mr. Nazir. I do really see that you have summed up all the important points in your talk. I don't see anything which has been missed out. And I really hope that the audience has noted down all these points and used them to the fullest capacity. All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So based on your talk, let me put a teaser question. All right. But before that, we need to announce the winner of the previous question, right? So let's see who the winner is first, and then we'll go to the next question. All right, so the question asked was how much time SMBs and SME companies take to recover from IT disaster. Okay, now this question has been derived from a survey which was done by a very reputed company. It's known as IDG. It was done in late Q4 2020. As per them, SMBs take like around 8 to 24 hours, which is the correct answer. And this is a very huge time for the organizations to come back to production. As we all know, downtime is a cost. The more downtime is, the more cost is for the companies, right? So that's why we always recommend to have faster recovery to decrease your downtime cost, in which you can get the recovery within minutes or maximum, let's say, half an hour to 1 hour. This will decrease your downtime cost and you can fail back to normalcy as well. All right. But yeah, so coming back to the winner, let's see who the winner is. Mr. Asif, congratulations, Mr. Asif. You are the winner of the second question, so we'll send the voucher to you shortly. All right, so now let's head to the next question. So here's the next question for the audience, another chance to win another voucher. All right, so what percent of companies are able to meet expectation versus reality? Now, this is something that we need to understand. We are talking about expectation, what we expect and develop and prepare, and what the reality is. When exactly it happens, what reality shows, all right? So this is what the options are, 15, 28, 55, 72. So let's see who gets the right answer. And this question is also derived from one of the survey reports. All right, so the time's up. So I wish you all luck. And coming back to the agenda, but before that, I would like to introduce Mr. Shakib Pelin. He is from Fujairah e-Government. He is the head of the IT department there. Mr. Shakib, I would like to ask you, with the current pandemic situation, a lot of customers are looking at migrating their secondary data onto the cloud. Since you have been offering private cloud services for a lot of government entities for a long time now, what are you offering to government and private sector, especially in DRaaS?
Yes, hi all. Welcome everybody. Before I start, I just want to mention some few things. That Fujairah government have mainly 2 data centers. One is located in Fujairah and another one in Fujairah Emirates and another one in Dibba city. So we were actually offering the service related to the data center for the last 7 to 8 years. And we started using Quorum actually since 4 years for our own HA and DR requirements. We faced actually some disaster a couple of times, and really Quorum has taken seamlessly bailed us out of minimum downtime and without data loss. That's why our experience with Quorum has been really outstanding. And under the instruction of our director, Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamad bin Saif Shardi, he has that vision to take Fujairah as important landmark in cloud computing services in the Middle East. So we plan accordingly to set up a global data village and offer multi-cloud services to the government and to the private companies. So we signed up an alliance with Quorum to offer a top-class cloud service and expand our services to give the private companies a chance who are struggling to use the power of cloud. Accordingly, we are working with Quorum to give this service, the DR as a service.
Thank you, Mr. Shakib, for sharing about your cloud services to our audience. It is really an honor to have Fujairah e-Government as a partner, and really wonderful to work with you. All right. Now, like the people have been waiting for the answer. All right. Okay. So let's announce the answer of the winner of the previous question. Let's have the question and the answer, please. Okay, the question that was asked was what % of companies are able to meet expectation versus reality in terms of IT business recovery? So the answer, obvious answer, is 28%. As you can see how small the number is, right? So this is the small percentage of company who meet expectation and reality both together. We usually do not consider the actual RPOs and RTO, just like how Mr. Nazir said in the beginning. And we use a lot of multi-vendor solutions which has dependency on each other, right? This causes a real-time delay in actual disaster, and this leads to a different reality altogether. Initially, before building, we may expect to have our RPOs and RTOs and recoveries within minutes and seconds, but in fact, actually when the WRT factor comes into picture, we realize that the expectation that we had set was completely different, right? So the right answer is 28%. And moving ahead, the winner is Mr. Suhail Ahmed. Congratulations, Mr. Suhail. All right. So you'll be getting the voucher, and I hope you enjoy the voucher to your fullest. And yes, again, another chance. Let's have another question for audience to win. All right. So what % of companies have at least some of their data or application in the cloud? So it means, like, you have a complete data center. Out of your complete data center, you may have some amount of data on the cloud and some on-premise, right? So that is what this question is all about. Yeah. So you need to select the right answer that says how much amount or how much percentage of companies have some of their data or application in the cloud. The time starts now, and yeah. All right. So I wish you all luck. Then I hope someone. Okay. All right. So I wish somebody gets the right answer and you get a chance to earn the voucher as well. Okay. Now coming back to the agenda, I would like to go back to Mr. Nazir once again. Since we learned about the challenges of having on-premise secondary data, we would like to know what are the benefits of putting secondary data on Quorum Cloud and how unique it is compared with others available in the market.
Taj, I would like to just brief our audience that Quorum is not new in UAE. We already are currently managing more than 2,000 servers with various private and government organizations. And now with this Quorum Cloud available locally in UAE, This will be again a boon for a lot of private and government customers who want to avail the cloud services. Now here customer firstly will get an option to avail of backup as a service or DR as a service. That's one option. Second is they can have options to upload specific files folders on the cloud, or they can take a complete image of the cloud. Okay. Of course, global deduplication, data compression and encryption is there. And we don't do only the initial image, but every snapshot is also deduplicated, compressed and encrypted at rest and in motion to achieve highest level of security. Okay. Very importantly, where we are strong is on the self-test, because self-test ensures guaranteed recovery of the service. Every time a snapshot is taken, it is merged with the virtual clones inside the Quorum infrastructure, and it is tested. It does automated booting of the server, check for any boot error, network error or services error. If there is any error, notification is given. This is monitored by our proactive monitoring team, and accordingly action is taken. If there is no error, it shuts down automatically. So the customer has a peace of mind that they have a working copy of their production servers on the cloud ready to go live on one click with 2 to 5 minutes. So the recovery time, what we are assuring is 2 to 5 minutes, and their production servers are up and running. Now here the customer has a self portal. So every customer will have a login credentials. They can connect to the Quorum cloud. They have their own dashboard, and they can do a file folder restore. They can boot the server. They can test the server, and they have an option to manage their own server on the cloud. Apart from that, they can do granular file folder restore without booting the server on the cloud. Very importantly, they can do failback on their own. So they can do bare metal recovery, they can do migration, physical to physical, physical to virtual, virtual to physical, all kinds of migration is possible. Multi-level recovery is again very, very unique to Quorum. Now this is something which none of our competitors or other cloud service providers are offering, where when you run the server from the cloud, okay, a lot of new data comes to these servers. Okay. And as per the schedule, snapshots are taken of this new data as well. Okay. So when you restore back, you have an option to do incremental failback. For example, your production server was down for 3 days, and for 3 days you have been using the server from the Quorum cloud. After 3 days, you have repaired your on-premises server and you want to fail back. So only 3 days incremental data you can push back from the Quorum cloud to your on-premises server. So this incremental failback really helps to quickly go online. Okay. So that's the option which is available, which is not there with other cloud service providers, because failing back is a very tedious process when you depend on multiple traditional replication kind of environments. Sandboxing is another unique feature again with Quorum. Now many of the customer has to do testing. New patches are there, upgrades, application updates are there, and they have to maintain certain hardware, software exclusively for testing. Now this is not required. With Quorum, they can boot any server in the Quorum cloud, and it will create a sandbox environment. You can connect, you can do your patch update, upgrades, application update as if you are doing it on the live server. And then once you are satisfied, then you can do it on the production server. So the sandboxing feature also is very unique, where you can avoid any test environments and do it on the cloud. Support what we are offering. We have a team locally in UAE, in Dubai, in Business Bay. We have a complete team with sales, pre-sales, proactive monitoring team, after sales support is there. So as required, we offer on-site support. Archiving is an option. If the customers want 1 year, 3 year, 10 year backdated old data, they can go for the archive license, and snapshots can be scheduled every quarterly, half yearly, yearly. They can go back to the previous snapshot, restore any file or folder, or boot the server backdated and restore their backdated servers. And finally, what we are offering here in UAE is 3 deployment methods. The customers have flexibility to put their secondary data on the cloud in 3 deployments per method. First is the direct to cloud model, where the on-premises data, whether it is physical servers, virtual servers with any hypervisor, whether it's a hyper-converged infrastructure, whether it's a clustered environment, replicated environment, whether they have a SAN NAS connected as map drive, whether it's a Oracle, SQL. So irrespective of whatever infrastructure you have, we can take the complete infrastructure on the Quorum Cloud. And the same infrastructure you can spin off and use it with just one click. Okay. Second option is traditional cloud. If you have a compliance requirement where you need to maintain the 3-to-1 rule, where you need high availability and DR both together, so here you have an option to implement a small Quorum appliance on premises, which will act as high availability appliance, and a copy of that can be managed on the shared Quorum cloud infrastructure. So with very minimum cost involved, you can achieve a proper HADR requirements. And third is hybrid. Hybrid is a combination of direct to cloud and traditional cloud. There could be different use cases. For example, you have multiple offices, branch offices, and each of the branch has couple of servers. So those branch offices can be put on direct to cloud model, and the head office servers, critical servers, can be put on the a traditional cloud model, where you have a small appliance on the headquarter, which will act as high availability, and a copy of that will be in the Quorum cloud. So there are a lot of flexibility based, because we do understand every customer's requirements are different. Every customer's IT infrastructure are different. Many are centralized, some are decentralized, especially retail has a decentralized setup. So depending on customer's requirement, Quorum offers a very flexible environment based on their requirements. Their needs can be fulfilled, considering security, performance, and cost.
Thank you, Mr. Nazir. Definitely, we do see a lot of benefits of using Quorum Cloud, and this information should definitely reach out to the stockholders, finance department, to strongly consider moving to secondary data, especially on Quorum Cloud. All right, so let's come back and let's have the winner of the previous question. So let's see who the winner is. All right, so the question asked was, what % of companies have at least some of the data or application on the cloud? The answer is 54. So who's the winner? Congratulations, Norman. You have selected the right answer. So this question also comes from one of the survey reports, and according to this, 54% of the companies in today's market have their reach on cloud. Whether it could be an application, it could be just a simple storage, it could be anything. The secondary data, the primary data. So one or the other way, they are using cloud. So it is time for us also to reach out to the cloud, and the easiest way of doing it is what I think it is, to put the secondary data on cloud. And this will help us to identify and also clear our path to migrate completely with the production as well. All right, so we are almost nearing the end of our Tech Talk show. But before we move ahead, I would like to inform you all that we also have a grand prize waiting to be released. Right? What we would do is we would be randomly selecting 5 serial numbers from the registrations. All right, so your name has a registration number and a serial number, right? So we'll select randomly 5 serial numbers and we'll post it on the screen. So the person who gets the maximum votes will be selected as the grand prize winner. All right. But now what we'll do is we'll open up a question answer session. There's a button for question answers on your screen. you can use that and you can ask questions to our panelists. So your questions, queries, concerns, challenges, anything related to cloud, backup as a service, DRaaS as a service, you're free to ask the panelists now. Go ahead, please. So raise any questions, you can ask the panelists, they'll be answering you in the right way. Any questions, any concerns, any queries, anything from the best practices? You can also put it in chat window if you'd like to. So I guess there are no questions. All the queries and concerns have already been answered in the Tech Talk show. I truly understand and believe that the questions or the concerns you might be having, that answer has already been given to you in our talks, right? I do hope so. But still, if you have something other than that, you want to ask something, you can go ahead. I'll still give 2 minutes of time and then we'll move on to our closings.
Nazir, I see, mashallah, our attendees are from different part of the world. So geographies could be different, but data binds us all. So the requirement for data, the protection of data, the concern regarding data remains same across geographies. As a matter of fact, like a company having 1 TB data or a company having 100 TB of data, that data is important to everyone.
All right, so let's proceed. I am sure that all your questions have been answered in the Tech Talk show. So what we'll do now is we'll have a small survey. I want you all to rate this survey before we move ahead to the grand prize. There'll be a small set of questions and 4 options. Please select how do you rate this Tech Talk show. Give us your feedback so that we can improvise further. Can I have the survey question, please? And after this, we will move on to the grand prize. Okay, how do you rate the Tech Talk show? Your options are excellent, good, educative and informative, satisfactory. So we are looking forward for your feedback. Thank you, gentlemen. I believe that you have given your fair feedback. And before moving to our last section of the grand prize, I would like to give you some heads up. Quorum has cloud offering in UAE, as you all know. We also offer 1 month of free trial. If you want to test our cloud services, we do have the option to give it to you for a month. You can put your data on cloud, experience the service of Quorum. You can have instant recovery, you can have testings, you can have granular restore, you can do all sorts of testings and get satisfied with the service being offered by Quorum, right? So if you are interested, you can please do let us know and we'll offer the test for you. All right, so moving ahead, the last section of our Tech Talk show, the grand survey. the grand prize. So here what we are doing is we have selected 5 participants or attendees. Their serial numbers have been identified and those serial numbers will be displayed on the screen. So you guys need to vote. All right. So the maximum number or maximum votes that specific number gets, he becomes the winner. All right. So can we have the grand prize question, please? Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attendees randomly selected. We ourselves don't know who these attendees are. So 1, 11, 22, 36, 47. So please do vote. The number who gets the maximum votes will get the grand reward. We give another 45 seconds, or let's say we'll increase it to 1 minute, right? So that the person can get maximum votes and is lucky enough to bag this prize. It would have been very nice if our name also would be there in the list. We would have also got a chance to win as well.
The first shouldn't be the number one. Hey.
All right, I believe it's almost time. It's 1 minute. All right. So thank you for your votes. Thank you for your selection. We'll announce the winner shortly in just few seconds. But before that, I would really, I personally believe that the whole myth on cloud, BaaS, ERaaS, best practices, SLAs, etc., are all cleared for our attendees here, for our audience, and they can take the right decisions. This was very helpful and informative for you all guys. Quorum has also been recognized across the different platforms. Quorum cloud services are directly compared with Microsoft Azure. If you see the Gartner reports, we have won 5 out of 5 ratings compared to Azure and other cloud operators. So you can see these reports and reviews in Gartner, Capterra, Spiceworks, IT Central. There are a lot of different companies, different survey companies who have compared Quorum with different companies, different competitors, and really we have got the most of the reviews and feedbacks. So these are all available. If you want, we can also share it with you. All right, and this also shows the stand of Quorum. I would like to take 2 minutes of your time here, as we are selecting the grand prize winner. Just give me 2 minutes, please.
So Nazir, I have a question for you, and it is not related to topic. Since you have attended so many events, so how does it feel like to be on a virtual event like this? And what is your opinion about it?
Yeah, I would say the format what Anamtech has taken for this talk show has been really very unique. I mean, this is the first kind of a tech talk show where there is every 7 minutes there is a question and answer, there are rewards, and I see a lot of uniqueness, and this interactive session makes more sense than just one person talking and making it boring. So this was really interactive, and very importantly, this enlightens the customers a lot. And instead of just talking about the vendors, products and services, I believe the attendees and the customers also gain a lot of insight on the domain and can take that right decision for their companies.
Yeah, and the best part was that we could accommodate attendees from all across globe. So we are just not confined to one territory. Like
Exactly.
earlier, we have had many events in the past, but again, the geography was concerned. So all thanks to the team, like who could brought the people from across the globe, and this particular thing has brought us closer. And we'll have the webcast of the same posted on our other social media websites, so you all can refer to that. I believe the content shared been really valuable. We've been sharing our views based on the experiences, based on the best practices that we have ourselves adopted for our data center and all, and it has brought us some value in the business in real time. So we want to extend the same to our customers, our partners, and I hope like this all help us to automate ourselves, in any other way it comes, even if it is cloud or on-premise, but automation has to be there with a very less human intervention. That is the need of the hour. Taj is smiling. Taj, you are the philanthropist of the day. It is not a tech cloud, rather it is a gift cloud. It's raining, raining, and raining.
Thank you. Okay, we have got our winner. So I would like to introduce the winner of the grand prize here. Can we have him on the screen? All right, so the winner is Mr. Gratian. He's from Horizon Geosciences. So the number that got the most vote was 22, and 22 was the registration number or the serial number of Mr. Gratian. Congratulations, sir. You have won yourself the grand prize. It's again a voucher which will be emailed to you, so you can enjoy this to your fullest again. And with this, we come to the end of our Tech Talk show. I really believe that the audience has really liked it. More than liking, they have got what they wanted. The main concerns or the doubts that they had, or the queries that they had, has been answered, and they are going out with the complete knowledge and a good idea about what Cloud DRaaS is and how to execute it, how to take it further, and how to plan for their own infrastructure as well. So thank you everyone. Thank you panelists. It was really nice having you here, and thank you all.
Thank you,
Thanks to
Taj.
you, Taj, and thanks to all our attendees. We owe it to you all. Thanks for the patronage, and thanks for the investment made in terms of time, money, and energy towards this show. Thanks for making it a great success. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.